274. 274. Pretty good. That's better. It's Riter Radio, episode 274. Thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for being here nice and early, because this is going to be a short one today. I got something that popped up that I got to do, so this will be less than an hour. I need to be out the door by 11, so let's just get through everything as quickly as possible. There's no guest scheduled for today, so I didn't have to make any phone calls or text messages or do anything to cancel anyone. But yeah, something popped up. So short show today, but we're here. We're hanging out. A lot of action today. Sports are getting good, man. The U.S. didn't get eliminated thanks to Italy beating Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. I haven't heard anybody else talking or caring about it. I care about it because I like the sports, and I also want the weather to be better. We've had improvements. We've had some days where it's tolerable outside, but we're back to like cold enough to snow. Probably won't, but like I was outside and there was some precipitation and it wasn't quite raining, it wasn't quite snowing. I don't like it. It's cold, and also this fluctuating weather messes with the migraine situation of every person in my house. So we've got everybody went to school today. That's good. But, man, people have just been dropping like flies. They get home from school and sleep for 7 hours. Then we have to wake them up to eat dinner at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, whatever. Everybody's just a disaster thanks to the weather. But it's going to get better, and I like baseball, and I don't want the USA to lose because they lost to Italy. So we're back on track with that. Sabres play tonight. I don't know if you noticed. They have won a lot lately and sit 2 points back of the top spot in the Eastern Conference, which is cool to look at the standings and see 86. And it's not even like they were lumped with Tampa and they won. Then they won again and Tampa lost again after losing to Buffalo. So now there's a 4-point gap there. Lightning still with 2 games in hand. But Carolina is right there for the catching. Carolina Hurricanes sitting at 88 points, 64 games played. Sabres at 86 points, 65 games played. So 2 points back. Carolina does have a game in hand, but we're not going to worry about that. Eventually, the games are going to even out. And it's Sabres Capitals tonight at the arena downtown. Prior to that, 4 o'clock tip-off, UB in the MAC basketball tournament. So I'll be keeping an eye on that throughout the day. I've got so many plans jammed into today through, I guess it's Sunday, really, that everything is just kind of locked up for me. But yeah, there's a lot to pay attention to. Sabres, are the Lightning playing tonight? I forgot to check that. I kind of want them to. Actually, I want to know if the Lightning are playing. I want to know if the 7 p.m. the 12th. Yes, Lightning versus Red Wings tonight. And then what's going on with Carolina, because that's the other team. I don't know, top spot in the conference sounds kind of fun, doesn't it? It's pretty crazy. Let's see. Carolina. It's a pretty heavy night of action. Yeah, they play tonight too. So Carolina plays the Blues. They could just drop that. Get a nice evening out of St. Louis. Sabres, it's hard to picture them losing at this point, isn't it? It's kind of nuts. Like, I know they're going to. Nobody wins all the games. And they're not perfect, but man, it's another night. It's another day where I wake up and the first thing I think of is Sabres play tonight, which then I sit down to do the show and I see a clip from, I don't know if it's yesterday or recently on WGR, and it's Bulldog talking. And his whole thing is like, so how's it going? For those of you who weren't like super invested in this team, what has changed for you? And the main thing that has changed for me is that I wake up every day thinking about the fact that they're playing, or that the standings are working out, or that how the playoffs are going to be, or what it's going to be like when the weather gets good and people are going to hockey games in shorts, all that stuff. Was out Tuesday night for the game, not specifically for the game, but was out and the game was on. We played trivia, and I paid attention. I sat and faced the screen on purpose. Usually don't. For years, I've been not facing the screen, and I get all my updates from John Fuller telling me what's going on over my shoulder. It used to be I would sit down and be like, they're down 2-0. Like, I just walked in. It's 10 after 7. What the hell? But now it's the opposite way. They're up. They're up again. Oh, there's a fight. Oh, they win. Like, that's where we are. So I don't have anything new to say there. Just that here we are. Here we go again. 17 games left in the regular season. So you just win those. Add 34 to your point total. That'll get you to 120, which would be the most in franchise history. And I know that now that they have the loser point thing, it kind of screws it up. But they've hit 113, I believe, twice. Once in the President's Trophy year, which is 06-07, and once in 74-75. And that was before loser points. But you did get points for ties then, I think. So it's kind of the same. But 113 is the mark. And Sabres are threatening. I mean, they have to stay red hot to get there. But I don't know. It's in the realm of possibility. So I looked it up. And, yeah, 113 is the franchise record. So we're looking at that. What else? I'm just zipping through stuff today. Max Crosby commits after Nick's trade to Ravens. Quote, "I'm a Raider." It's not like he traded himself. All-Pro edge rusher Max Crosby expressed his commitment to the Raiders Wednesday in his first public comments since the Raiders nixed a trade that would have signed him to Baltimore. "Everything happens for a reason," he wrote in a post. "Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back." This post came just days after an emotional farewell to the Raiders, whom he's played for since 2019, and expressed excitement about joining the Ravens after they agreed to acquire him for 2 first-round picks, but then that went away. The Ravens backed out, with sources telling ESPN it was due to medical concerns that arose during a physical in Baltimore. He's 28, underwent surgery in January to repair a torn meniscus in his left knee. He was aware he needed surgery in the fall, but continued to play until the Raiders shut him down for the last 2 games of the season, which Crosby was frustrated with. His agent, CJ LeBoy, issued a statement Tuesday saying that Crosby is ahead of schedule in recovery and on track to return during the offseason program. He was back in Vegas on Wednesday working out at the Raiders facility. All right. Raiders also signed Malcolm Kuntz, who is a former UB Bull, to a 1-year, $11 million deal. He's an edge rusher. And the Raiders also traded for Taron Johnson, working him into the mix as well. So Raiders in the news quite a bit lately. I mean, they're not a good team, but they're about to draft first. And somebody brought this up. It was probably on the show. I was going to say just in life, and then I was going to add it, but it probably has been on the show. Anyway, that trade that doesn't seem like that much, right? They were going to cut Taron Johnson, and then suddenly they hadn't done it yet, and the Raiders traded for him, and it's Johnson and a 7th to the Raiders for a 6th. But the Raiders pick first. So it's like almost a 5th. And the Bills pick 26th. So assuming it's their pick, and I didn't check to see if it was, a swap of somebody else's, but you're talking about jumping from almost irrelevant, you want all the picks you can get, but almost irrelevant, late 7th, up to top pick in the 6th for a guy you were going to cut, for a guy you kind of did cut, a guy you announced you were cutting. It's pretty good. Morning. All hate the Bills pickup, not against. Just think it's a pretty normal thing they do. What? I don't know what that is. Is this about Bradley Chubb? So we can talk about Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb comes in, and my immediate reaction was not one of great joy. Nothing against Bradley Chubb. It's just sort of a name that's been in the league that I've always thought seemed like a good player. And then I watch highlights. I'm like, oh, all right. I watch him, coming around the edge and stripping Josh Allen. And then one of the Bills' old linemen falling on it. The thing with Chubb is that while he did have missed time a couple years ago because of surgery, the last 2 seasons, he's combined for 19.5 sacks. I mean, he had 8.5 playing for a not great Miami team. And the previous year, he had 11. And the highlights look like legit edge rusher. I would have pounded the table for Khalil Mack to finish his career here. Chargers would prefer to keep him. And they did. They signed him to a 1-year deal. But watching these Chubb highlights, they remind me a lot of the highlights that I like of Khalil Mack as a veteran. Khalil Mack is not, he's not what he was, 8 years ago or something like that, but he's still a very impactful, intense leader. And he looks really, really strong and quick, usually at very critical moments of a football game. Now, these highlights didn't tell me the specifics of the context, I guess. Like, was this a big play, or is this just we took everything he ever did and combined it into this video? But it was recent stuff, and he looked dominant on the plays where he looks dominant. Is that too obvious? I like the signing, is my point. I think it fixes a lot. Obviously, you need health. But I'm picturing this D-line with Chubb and with Oliver and with Hoyt. Like the 5 minutes that they had Hoyt, the defense looked like it was supposed to look. And then he was gone for the year. And that might be middle of the season he comes back. I'm not sure. But there are pieces there. There are moments where Russo is like, yeah, look at this guy batting passes down. Moments where A.J. Epinesa is like a, maybe not star, but a solid player for you. There's some combination in there that ends up making things work, right? If you can keep people healthy. So I'm all right with that. It's not the Raiders pick, but it is the first pick of the 6th round. It's the Bills from Raiders through Jets, Browns, and Jaguars. The pick at 182 has gotten around. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's why I just didn't even look it up, because that pick from the Raiders through the Jets, Browns, and Jaguars. Sure. Point is, getting a pick from the Raiders, as it turns out, is better than a pick that you would give up if you're the Bills. It's just a basic reminder that they're all 6th, they're not created equal. All 7ths are not created equal. And you traded a bad 7th for a good 6th. I could have just said it that way. Sorry. So Chubb, I looked up his numbers. I don't have them on the screen right now, but I'm going to bring them up. It absolutely sounds like the kind of guy you want. And fits in. This is not going after Max Crosby. And he's younger than Hendrickson. I don't love Hendrickson. Crosby on the Ravens scared me. I was quickly reminded that they still have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, but Hendrickson doesn't do the same to me. Have you woken up on days of Bengals games fearing what Trey Hendrickson is going to do to you? I haven't. But I've woken up on UB Bulls days facing Eastern Michigan wondering what they were going to do against Crosby. And he obviously has gone on to be an incredibly successful pass rusher in Vegas. First in Oakland, then in Vegas. That one scares me. But if he's just on the Raiders, now it doesn't. So I'm good with all of this. I know there's controversy surrounding it. I haven't dug too far into how nefarious the Ravens were in this dealing that allowed them to say yes to a trade, say no to a trade, and have their next guy ready to go immediately. But I will say Ravens with Hendrickson is less scary to me than Ravens with Crosby, so I'm fine with it. Chubb had 12 sacks as a rookie, 1 his second year, 7.5, none. 5.5, 2.5, and then his last 2 seasons, 11 and 8.5. Okay. And he's 29 years old. That's. He looks to be back. Since the surgery in 2022, he's got 19.5 sacks. Good. Fine. I'm probably not done. If I'm the Bills, what are we thinking on receiver right now? Dobbs landed somewhere, right? I kind of had Dobbs in my head as the guy that was going to fit here. Obviously, trading for DJ Moore is one, but my philosophy has been trade for one, sign one, draft one. We're good. Yeah, Patriots Dobbs. Thanks. Ugh. What Romeo Dobbs brings to the Patriots as a solid number 2 wideout for May. All right, I'll read what you have to say, NBC Sports Boston, about Romeo Dobbs and his addition. Reinforcements are arriving for Drake May at the wide receiver position. Where are we on the Patriots right now? Are we fearing the Patriots? Or are we just thinking about what Drake May looked like in the playoffs and that it was a fluky thing that they got there and the Bills are still better? Because that's kind of where I am. They're clearly the team to fear the most in the East outside of Buffalo. Romeo Dobbs is signing with the Patriots in free agency per Ian Rappaport. 4 years, $68 million in base, $17 million a year. Blah, blah, blah. He's coming off a career year with Green Bay, 55 catches, 724 yards, and 6 touchdowns. Also had 8 catches for 124 and a touchdown in their playoff game against the Bears. Provided consistent production in Green Bay with at least 46 catches and at least 601 receiving yards each of the past 3 seasons. Yeah, I wanted him, and now he's on the Patriots. So I don't like that. But I'm also looking at the rest of their receiving core. I mean, they say, hey, they brought in a great number 2. But they lack a 1. Diggs is out. So Dobbs, Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, Demario Douglas, Kyle Williams, and Afton Chisholm. Afton? I'm not afraid. Good player. Nice player. Wanted him. Couldn't live without. Bobby Hurley is officially out at Arizona State. It's been speculated for a while. We talked about this going back to when they beat Kansas last week. And he was like, yeah, it's whatever. I don't want to talk about this because it was ending. 11 up-and-down seasons. The athletic director announced Wednesday that Hurley's contract would not be renewed just hours after the Sun Devils really went out in style, losing to number 7 Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament by a score of 91-42. Hurley will be put on paid administrative leave through the remainder of his contract, which ends in June. That's a good deal. You're fired, you still get paid. See ya. Not bad. I mean, June's not far away. What's the quote here? Bobby Hurley has made incredible contributions to the sport of basketball, and that certainly includes many memorable moments during his time as our head coach. While we will not be extending his contract, we're grateful for the 11 years that Coach Leslie Cameron Sidney, Bobby Jr., and he spent with us at ASU. We wish Coach well moving forward, and we're thankful for his leadership while at ASU. To me, the whole thing that jumps out from this is time flies. It's 11 years. 11 years because he was here when UB started going to NCAA tournaments. And that feels like 5 minutes ago. But it's not. It's been a rough several years. This year's a little better. A lot better, really. But we'll see if they can get it done in Cleveland. They've got a shot. They hung with undefeated Miami twice this year. They lost by 3 in overtime and by 2 in regulation. And they're 2 games against Miami. And Miami's sitting at, 33-0. They've been perfect. So can you get back and get another shot at them? If I'm Miami, the team I don't want to face is the one that took me into those 2 really good battles. And I don't know if, UB seems to have been hot at the wrong time. It was nice the way the season started, but it just kind of faded back into, approaching the 500 range, better than 500. And that's a massive improvement over the last few years. But we'll see. That game's today at 4. UB against Akron, not against Miami. But the goal, the hope is somebody else knocks them out, I guess. But obviously the Bulls would have to win the MAC tournament in order to advance to the NCAA tournament, which, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, there's that. I'm closing out Arizona State. I'm closing out Max Crosby. Oh, Bills free agency tracker. So there hasn't been a lot going on here, but I don't think I've mentioned Kyle Allen coming back, which, sure. There's got to be a backup, and it probably should be one of the dudes that Josh hangs out with. So he's got the same name. That's good. and he was here in 2022. We never saw him. Sorry, 23. We never saw him play. So it was Trubisky, then Kyle Allen, then Trubisky, and now Kyle Allen. Right? That's a sequence of events. Or was it maybe it was Trubisky, then not Trubisky, then Trubisky for 2? I don't remember. But Trubisky's gone. And now it's, yeah, that's what it was. It was Trubisky, then somebody. Who was it in 22? Was that like Mike White and, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Kyle Allen last played a game in 2022. Josh Allen last missed a start when he was a rookie. So he's here. Fine. Here's the Bradley Chubb thing. What it means. Pass rusher was arguably the biggest need behind wide receiver before the offseason moves began, and adding Chubb, who turns 30 in June, brings a veteran coming off an 8.5 sack season to Jim Leonard's defensive line. The team was in the mix for other pass rushers, but landed on a starter who was released by the Dolphins for $43.5 million deal with $29 million guaranteed. In the first year of Leonard's defense, the Bills will hope Chubb, another year removed from a torn ACL at the end of 23, can help get a pass rush going that has struggled to find consistency. Yeah, that's true. D. Alford, cornerback. This is theoretically the replacement for Taron Johnson. Alford is 28, marks the first free agent move under Leonard, with the Bills trading nickel corner Taron Johnson to the Raiders. Alford fills the need for the nickel that fills the unit as it transitions away from the defensive system under Sean McDermott last 9 seasons. The vast majority of the snaps in his 4-year NFL career have all come at nickel. I added it all in. It was not a terribly written sentence the way I made it sound. The vast majority of the snaps in his 4-year career, all with the Falcons, have come at nickel. Versatility is also an important skill set to this defense. I also saw him listed as a return man. So, you never know. And then Mitch Wishnowsky back at punter. Well, Bob was saying yesterday that the Bills were looking at a lot of punters at the combine, talking to punters. It's his word that he got. I mean, they draft a punter this year. The Bills started 2025 with inconsistency at punter, but after Wishnowsky joined the team beginning in Week 5, they had more stability. 41.8 net yards per punt, second most in his 7-year career. By bringing him back, the Bills carry over the solid play from last season and a veteran familiar with the organization. And that's it. That's all the free agency stuff for the Bills. That said, the trade for DJ Moore late last week was really the start of things for them. So they've added DJ Moore and Nick Chubb. And then there's D. Alford, and the punter's back, and they have a backup quarterback. Filling in some pieces. Fine. Italy beats Mexico to advance at the World Baseball Classic. And Team USA needed that so that they could move on as well. Team USA advances out of pool play in the WBC, faces Canada in the quarterfinals Friday, averting a disastrous flameout thanks to Italy's 9-1 victory against Mexico. The Americans lost to Italy Tuesday, a stunning 8-6 defeat. Left their fortunes depending on the outcome of the final game of Pool B. An Italy win guaranteed Team USA a spot, and the Italians obliged. Led by the first 3-home run game in WBC history by captain Vinny Pasquantino and 5 shutout innings from ace Aaron Nola. All right. I don't know Vinny Pasquantino. Maybe I should. I'm going to click on him, see if I know him. First baseman for the Royals. Okay, that's real. I'm getting caught up on baseball. The WBC is helping. Also, the fact that my family is into baseball. My wife has gotten that's really the big one. My wife just wants to watch baseball games now. Has been at it's winter. And she's like, I just want baseball to come back. Who are you? And she has become like this bandwagon Dodgers fan. So she calls the Dodgers by their first names. And there's Kike. So we watch a lot of Dodgers baseball when we get a chance. But that helps. That helps. If she has interest, and I have regenerated hockey interest in this house. I mean, I didn't do it. I had to notify her, though. I mean, she was a massive Sabres fan before I met her. They were good. I mean, we met basically during the Sabres stuff, the good Sabres stuff. Got married in 2009, hot off the heels of those good runs. But then it's just been, I don't have to explain this every day. It just has not been worth the time. Who's got the time to watch that team be terrible for years? And so it took me getting back to full strength on my interest / passion / dedication. And then me promoting it for a while. And I was like, you know what? You should probably watch this game that turned out to be 8-7 and one for the ages. One that will always, we will remember this one. And that was enough to make her go, okay, when are they playing again? Yep. Where is it? Where's the game on? That's fine. Okay, good. Even the other night, I had to leave, but I had to find the game for her and leave it sitting on the TV so that I could go so she could watch it. Pretty great. We're doing the same with baseball is the point I was trying to make. Because of my kids playing constantly, because of my wife's sudden interest in watching the Dodgers, and some of it's Ohtani, but it's more like the rest of the team. She picks out these weird dudes. Like she was an Alashkota League fan. She decided the other day she really likes Sam Carrick. She tuned in. I think she had heard of Thompson and Darlene and maybe UPL. It's probably about it. Alex Tuck. But for the most part, that's it. And then she just liked the cut of Carrick's jib the other night. She's like, I think I like Carrick. All right, sure. You like Carrick. You can get a Carrick jersey, hang it up with your Kodalik and your Deion Dawkins. She's got funny taste. Can you tell? All right, so that happened. Done with hockey, done with this. Okay, I'm going to take a break and come back and do a quick segment, and then I'm done because I got to go. Sorry. It is Riter Radio. It's episode 240. It's on the screen. 274. 247 sounded low. 274 makes more sense. Stick around. See, I really can take a short break. I can do it. I just don't do it often. So I usually talk forever. And I was like, I got to stop for 10 minutes or something. Not this time, because it's a short show. I got to go. But real quick, and there should be a show tomorrow. Please tune in at 10. There's a chance there's not. All relating to the same situation. But probably. But if I don't get a chance to talk tomorrow, I need to at least mention that the Oscars are Sunday and roll through once again because I actually have been paying attention this year to the movies and the nominees. And there are some that I really love, and I've mentioned them a couple times, but the broadcast is Sunday. That's going to be a struggle. That my wife hates the Oscars. We don't watch any. I've watched all these movies, none with her. We've never been to a movie in a theater together. I love movies. She loves a different kind of movie. Pornography. No, just like romance chick stuff. If it doesn't have Ryan Gosling in it, she's not interested. Ryan Gosling or like Katherine Heigl. You know? The Oscars, TheRinger.com has perfect format here. Best Picture. What will win? Who could win? What should win? Okay? Best Picture. They say One Battle After Another. They say Sinners is a possibility. They say One Battle should win. I think that's probably right, although I have really grown. Marty Supreme really grew on me over the last month or so. I had One Battle locked in after the first time I saw it. After the second time I saw it, I liked it more. It hasn't held up. I've probably watched it 4 times. And by the 4th time, I was like, all right. Whereas other Paul Thomas Anderson things get better every single time. Like, watch Boogie Nights. It's better now than you remember. Watch Hard 8. It's better than you remember, if you know it at all. Highly recommend it. I don't know that this one will stand the test of time. Licorice Pizza, I love. And I like that more every time I watch it. And this one, it kind of hit a wall for me. That said, it blew me away the first time I saw it. If it wins, no problem there. Sinners, I just watched again, and that's better than I thought, and I liked it more the second time. Once I knew what was coming, I could process the whole thing a lot better. It was very confusing early. Period pieces confused me. And then you got one guy playing 2 guys. That was confusing. I mean, it didn't really matter what's the difference between Smoke and Stack, both played by Michael B. Jordan. It's fine. But watching it a second time, you have a better sense of it. So I really do like that. But Marty Supreme is the other one. And then Begonia, I loved Begonia. It doesn't seem to be getting any love. It's nominated, but it's not really in the conversation for any of the stuff that I thought it might be. Anyway, all right, that's Best Picture. Best Director, it's the same exact answer here. One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson as the who will win. Ryan Coogler, Sinners, as who could win. PTA, One Battle After Another, as who should win. That's the same thing. Best Actress, Jessie Buckley, Hamnet. I did not see Hamnet. I don't think I'm going to see Hamnet. There's no way I'm going to see it before the Oscars. If it wins stuff and it gets me excited somehow, I'll watch it. But the only thing working in Hamnet's favor is that when I spoke with Nick Bakay on the show, he said he had seen all of the Best Picture nominees and he only liked one of them, and it was that one. And I believe in Nick. So it says who will win, Jessie Buckley, Hamnet. Who could win? And it says there's no upset in store here. But then it says who should win, Rose Byrne from If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. What is the story here? What are they trying to say? Someone didn't give the Best Actress race the memo that the Oscars are supposed to be exciting this year. And frankly, the attempts to spice up the competition have been pitiful. If you have a case of severe award season brain like I do, then your social media feeds may have been filled with Buckley's cat controversy over the past week. I don't know what that is. I really don't want to explain it, but here it goes. A Hamnet junket in which Buckley said she doesn't like cats and confessed that she asked her husband to choose between her and his cat resurfaced days before Academy Awards voting closed. What does this have to do with the Oscars? Nothing, but enough people were offended on behalf of the feline kingdom that Buckley felt the need to defend herself on The Tonight Show. Well, that's stupid. That's the least controversial controversy ever. I'm not a cat fan. Yeah, me neither. Oh, then you can't win Best Actress. Not if you told your husband you didn't want a cat. What? Best Actor, who will win? Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Who could win? Wagner Moura, The Secret Agent. Who should win? Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another. I think this is going to be Jordan. He's pulling off a trick. When you pull off a trick, like playing two characters in one movie, it elevates your prowess. I'm all right with that. I also really like Chalamet in Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme better get something, because I really, really enjoyed it. It was very different from anything I've ever seen, yet it was also just the same. It was disguised as something else, but it was a sports movie. But it was ping pong, so it didn't really seem like a sports movie, but it was. It was Rocky, but with ping pong instead of boxing, which I relate to more because I've played a lot more ping pong than I've been in fistfights. Best Supporting Actress, who will win? Amy Madigan, Weapons. Didn't see it. Who could win? Wunmi Mosaku from Sinners. I'm not positive who that is. I assume that's the wife, the ex-wife, or whatever she is. Who should win? Teyana Taylor, One Battle. I'm good with that, too. She was excellent. That movie's cool. Best Supporting Actor, who will win? Sean Penn, One Battle After Another. One Battle After Another. This is going back to the first conversation I've had at all about Oscars, about any of these movies. It was John Fuller saying, I saw One Battle After Another, and Sean Penn will win the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. And then I saw it, and I went, oh, yeah, I understand. I understand what you mean. So, yeah, I think he's pretty likely to win there. Stellan Skarsgård is listed as who could win for Sentimental Value. Best Screenplay, what will win? Oh, you're cheating. Oh, it's two different things. Okay. Original is Sinners, One Battle is Adapted. What should win? Blue Moon Original and One Battle Adapted. All right, sure. Best International Feature, didn't see those. Stock Watch, Stock Up. One Battle After Another won the top prize to the American Society of Cinematographers on Sunday, giving him a welcome boost in the hotly contested Best Cinematography race. It also split top prizes with Sinners at the American Cinema Editors Awards last week. Meanwhile, Coogler's film, Sinners, won Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing along with Frankenstein at the Golden Reel Awards. Stock Down says F1 has long been the favorite for Best Sound, but losing the Golden Reel might cause it to spin out. Sinners may have lost ground in the Best Visual Effects race after Avatar Fire and Ash took home the most trophies at the Saturn Awards on Sunday. I've never seen an Avatar movie. I'm never going to see an Avatar movie, and I'm frustrated anytime that franchise is even brought up in a conversation for like greatness. Like, there's no way it's great. How do people watch something that looks like that for 2 hours? How do you do that? It says, I know I already talked about Timothée Chalamet's best actor tank job, but I would be remiss if I didn't mention it again here. It really might be a fumble for the ages. What did he do to fumble? How do you fumble best actor? You make the movie, then the movie's there, and people watch the movie. And what did he do? Does he not like Cats too? I don't know what he did. I don't have the story. I don't have time for the story because I got to go. I will be back either tomorrow or Monday. I think tomorrow. Tune in. Try for tomorrow, but I got to go. So thank you for listening. Bye.
I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich.
We're going to go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place.
Okay.
We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?